Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing Week 5 in college football. We're talking right now with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com, who has a lot of records at his site and in our videos that I could quote to impress you. But right now, I'm just going to stick to his college football record from last week. He went 3-1 against the spread. The one loss was the tough break loss with Florida State. That happens. The other 3 games, Duffy absolutely swept. He's on fire, 14-5 against the spread in our videos over the last 2 weeks. Joe Duffy, thanks for being back with us.
Thank you, Peter.
All right. 14-5 against the spread in our videos over the last 2 weeks. Joe Duffy, what do you have to say for yourself? Does that record shock you, or do you have anything to say?
And I'm, 12-6 with my wise guy plays in college and NFL football. I've been doing this a long time, but anybody who cares about long-term winning, they're already with me. Short-term winning, who's hot? I'm that right now, too, as well.
All right, so give a very quick plug for OffshoreInsiders.com. Tell us a little bit more about your long-term winning, then we'll get into your analysis of Notre Dame Syracuse.
Yeah, 27th year in the business, and I've been winning. That's why I've been full-time in this business. I know I think, about 5 wise guy plays already up in college football this weekend. That's my highest rate of play in the NFL. We already have a play up. We already have a couple big plays up for Thursday. All that and more at OffshoreInsiders.com.
All right, sounds good. Well, Notre Dame Syracuse is the game we're going to discuss right now. Syracuse lost at home to Maryland last week. Maryland has been decided that the Sharps have been backing this year, but Syracuse just not looking that great. Notre Dame off a bye. They do have Stanford coming up next, but Syracuse also has Louisville up next. It's a non-conference game for them. I'm thinking that as good as Notre Dame has looked and coming off a bye and how Syracuse has looked, 12 points is kind of a lot, but I don't know. I guess I'd lean Notre Dame here, and the initial line movement surprised me a little bit. What's your take on this game and these lines, Joe Duffy?
Yeah, no, either with the free picks or premium picks, and if the Irish are actually with 2-1 against the spread. But we said coming into the year we felt they would be very underrated. Look, the most important player on the field, it's going to be the quarterback. There's zero doubt they're much better with Everett Golson as the quarterback. The Irish, look, I think they have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. People thought it was a fluke 2 years ago what they did. I still think they feel they've got something to prove. Remember, Syracuse, they only beat Villanova by 1 point, so they're really not all that impressive. Now, I know we can debate on and on the pros and cons of a bye week. Most people just assume it's a good thing. It may or may not be, but in the case of Syracuse, where they're pretty one-dimensional, they run the ball. Notre Dame was able to focus on that, and the Irish, they're very good against the run already. They allow just 2.9 yards per rushing attempt versus teams getting 4.7. The Irish, their opponents have only registered 6 drives into the defensive red zone for Notre Dame. So I just don't see Syracuse having a whole lot of success. And like I said, the Irish I still think are a little bit undervalued because of last year, but Everett Golson's back. Their offense is much better. Their defense is much better. They should crush Syracuse.
All right, so then what do you make of the initial line move? It opened at 14, and my first thought was like, oh, I better grab this before it goes to 16. It went to 12.
Yeah, no, it's one of those cases where I think a lot of people aren't necessarily big believers in the Irish, and as I said, that's the key of being an undervalued team. And the Syracuse is actually without Ashton Boyd, who's one of their big weapons. He's their leading receiver as far as catches, and number 2 at wide receiver. So like I said, Irish game plan defensively should be pretty easy. They gotta stop the run, and if they can stop Syracuse's dual threat at quarterback, they're really going to be Terrell Hunt. He can run the ball pretty well, but if Notre Dame stops the run, Syracuse is doomed.
Well, what can I say? I'm agreeing with you, Joe Duffy. A little bit confused by the line movement, but Joe Duffy recommending play on Notre Dame minus 12, and I'm agreeing with that. Thanks so much, Joe.
The SBR Network offers free sports picks and game breakdowns, big money free betting contests year-round, a real-time Vegas-style odds monitoring service, and much more. So come see for yourself. To stay updated on SBR news and promotions, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and do be sure to subscribe to the Sportsbook Review YouTube channel to catch all our daily sports shows.